motivation will fail you. It's not even a matter of if, it is a matter of when. Now, before we really get into this, reading the comments of my previous videos, one thing is that a lot of people have been saying that my content has been very motivating, uplifting to them, which I think is a great thing. Certainly, one of the things that I hope to achieve, along with giving you guys knowledge and adding tools to your tool belt to help you elevate your skills and security. I certainly hope to motivate people as well, but it will fail you. But what can we do about that? How can we not allow motivation to completely derail us, or the lack of motivation, I should say? We'll dive into that in this video. What's up, guys? Ryan from Elevate Cyber here with a video on motivation. All right, motivation is fleeting. Now, that's one thing that I've learned, both from experience, but then also through guys like David Goggins, the crazy Marine. If you haven't heard of him, he's got some pretty good videos and you can find on YouTube, and a book that he wrote as well. But he definitely talks about this, how motivation is a fleeting thing, and you've probably experienced this a lot of times yourself. I mean, how many times can you recall where you might have watched, maybe it was from something you watched, or someone that you talked to, or something you read perhaps, and you just left it feeling this great sense of motivation, and you were really excited to, really just get started. As we come into the new year here, there's going to be a lot of people that are very motivated to go to the gym, to get in shape. All the time, there's people that are motivated to do things for a period of time, but at a certain point, always, without fail, without exception, that motivation fades away. Now, if you rely 100% on motivation in order to put in the work that you need to do, well, you're just going to stop putting in that work, right? And then you're not going to achieve your goals, and that is the opposite of what I want to see happen to you guys on this channel, of course. So what can we do about this, of course, becomes the next question. How can we sort of break this cycle of being really excited about doing something and then burning out of it and losing our motivation and quitting, and consequently not achieving our goals? What can we do about this to break this cycle? Well, discipline is something a lot of people would say as a way to get around this issue, right? Because if you're disciplined and you have the discipline, then you'll do it whether you feel like doing it or not. But that's a little bit too generic for me to just say, hey, just be more disciplined. You just lack discipline, bro, But I mean, certainly, a lot of people would advocate it, and I can't argue with it, that if you can cultivate your discipline, it's really going to help you in this as well. But more so than that is, I would say, another camp of people would say find your why. I think that's important too. Understanding why it is you want to do something can really help as well. But I wanted to give you even another area that I think probably helped me more than even those things did, and that is connecting with the positive feedback loop. So now, what do I mean by the positive feedback loop? Well, one of the things that makes it the most difficult to stick with anything in the very beginning, why they say starting is the hardest part, or the beginning is the hardest part, is because there's an absence of a positive feedback loop. Now, by that I mean, an example would be like you do something and you get rewarded for it, right? If you look at a lot of video games, they're designed exactly this way, to reward players for playing the game, essentially, right? That's why when you look at like MMORPGs and stuff, they pretty much guarantee rewards just from playing the game, because they want to keep you playing the game, right? If you look at social media, right, like they reward you for using the app, right, and get likes and notifications for posting stuff, and thus you keep posting stuff, right? There's that feedback loop. But when it comes to a lot of the things that are more challenging in life, things that you go for that are a lot more difficult to achieve and not artificial, like a social media app or a video game, right? A lot of times you're not going to find any kind of feedback loop that you'll be able to access, at least in the beginning, right? So I know a lot of people are into like certifications, OSCP and stuff on this channel. So let's just use that as an example, right? You're going for it, you signed up and everything, you're really motivated, but what happens is you go into the labs and you're not able to get any of the boxes right away. You're not able to get any root shells. Well, there's no feedback, there's no positive feedback loop for you, right? Now you have the motivation of the fact that you paid the money, right? That's not always gonna be there, right? It's gonna be a lot harder in the very beginning because you're not gonna have any reward for what you're doing. Maybe you're trying to grow a YouTube channel as well, and you post a video and no one watches it, right? You post another video, no one watches it. You post another one. See, this is what was really difficult for me in the beginning with the YouTube stuff, is that I didn't have anyone watching my videos, but I knew that consistency and being persistent was important, so I kept sticking that through. Now, you guys are watching my videos, and we're bringing in more and more viewers every day. This channel's growing and growing and growing. Well, now I have a lot of positive feedback that's gonna help motivate me, like, oh, look at all the progress I already made. Look what could be possible with building up this community and providing value to all of you guys. We could really grow a really great community of like-minded people. And that that thought is like really exciting to me, right? Maybe going back to the OSCP example, you're rooting box after box because you're getting better at this stuff, because you passed that initial point where there was no feedback loop. Now you have a feedback loop, you put in time, and subsequently you root boxes, and now you start to really believe in yourself, like, okay, this isn't just an idea, I can get this certification. Well, it's gonna be a lot easier to sit down at the computer and put in your practice time, right? So accessing that positive feedback loop is what I've personally found to be way better advice than just be disciplined or anything like that, because then you're not relying on motivation anymore. Your motivation essentially is that you can do it and you get rewarded for putting in the time. So it's really difficult to get to that point in a lot of these more challenging endeavors. But if you could just push past that initial point and know that the light at the end of the tunnel is you put in time and you get rewarded for it, because that's what's going to happen once you level up, then once you do eventually get to that point, it's a lot easier, right? Like I noticed the same thing about like the, getting in shape, going to the gym. I used to be out of shape myself, and it was a lot harder back in those days to consistently go to the gym, even hit my macros and stuff like that. But once I started to see true progress and I looked in the mirror and I saw my body transforming, suddenly, it became a lot easier to keep going to the gym and to keep, eating healthy and things like that, because, well, I think for one thing, it became part of my identity, but there was that positive feedback loop, certainly, that made things that much easier. So, I hope this was of help to you guys. This has been really instrumental in helping me, certainly. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear them. And yeah, if you've been enjoying the content so far, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button to help get this message out here. And I will see you guys in the next video.